and you know I'm a Niners fan, so to hear me talking about the Eagles is like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's a stretch.
Yeah, it's a big stretch. So Carson Wentz, what he's done is almost reminiscent, if not as good, as McNabb in the second, third year.
Mm.
Because the first year was 99, Andy Reid's first year. Doug Peterson was the
Right.
starter. Then
I'm gonna go on the limb. He might be a touch back.
he is. He is.
And
In his interception ratio,
mm-hmm.
he's better.
Mm-hmm.
His QB rating is better.
His touchdowns.
His touchdowns to multiple receivers is better. I think Deuce Staley was the running back then. Deuce Staley was 65% of 60% of the offense.
Yeah.
So it was screen right, screen left. That's when they said Andy Reid was only the screen right, screen left.
Mm-hmm.
He still does it.
Still does it. Yeah.
You know, this dude is something special.
Yeah, he is. It shows, man.
This dude is going to be around for a long time, man.
And I mean, you can even go back to last year, and a lot of, and now I'm just picking this up because of the when we had the Cowboys Eagles fans, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz debate or argument, if you will. You look at these seasons are flip flop from last year. Last year it was Dak doing all the things, but Carson Wentz didn't play bad last year.
No, he did.
You know, he just didn't have the tools around him that Dak Prescott had during his first year. And I'm not discrediting that either, but now he has the weapons, and like we said, multiple receivers every game. I mean, he has his favorite, Zach Ertz, but still, multiple receivers every game. What he has done is he has fully taken command of his offense.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike Dak, Dak is playing well. Now, people are going to say that Dak lost his start running back, which helps, and I agree. That does help quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. But even in that same stance, in that same conversation, Carson Wentz right now has commanded that offense. He's took total command of that offense.
He has. And I mean,
it's a reason, like we said earlier, you know, they always say quarterbacks earn their money on third down.
mm-hmm.
The Eagles with Carson Wentz are the best third down team in the league. And this is under a second year quarterback.
This dude
who found out he was the starter a year ago, 2 weeks or a week before the season over.
Right. 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 And you talking about
And you look at his progression now. I mean, he's been in MVP conversations this year.
And that's what I was saying earlier to a couple cats. I was telling them, like, look, man, this dude is in an MVP conversation.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not saying that Nick Foles. Man, look, I look at teams that have won Super Bowls with, I would say, mediocre quarterback. Trent Dilfer was mediocre.
And won a Super Bowl.
Brad Johnson was mediocre.
Absolutely.
Brad Johnson threw one pass to Joe Jurevicius against the Eagles, and your quarterback just happened to throw 2 interceptions to Rondé Barber, and that closed the game.
Closed the game, yeah.
That was the difference.
Yep.
You flipped it. Go right to Carolina when Carolina had Jake Delhomme, and Ricky Manning Jr. got those 2 interceptions.
2 interceptions.
It wasn't so much that Jake Delhomme was good, but that Carolina defense.
That defense, yeah.
That Carolina defense
it's better
was
than
crazy.
The defense now.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And that's when Carolina was in the NFC West.
Yeah.
Before they made the South Division. And I mean, you looking at players and you looking at teams, and still, I'm still not sold on Minnesota.
No, me either.
Still not sold on them. I still think there's something there that I just can't put my finger on.
In New Orleans, like we talked, New Orleans we thought was the biggest threat.
Yep.
New Orleans took a blow.
Yep.
Kamara's hurt. We don't know the extent of his injury. So Eagles fans, there is hope. You know, there is hope. So with that being said, like I said, I will get as much information as I can from the correct people, and I will share that information with you. We must move along. We got to talk some Sixers before we get out of here. We finally have a trade. The free job movement has finally come to fruition. if you do not know, Jalil Okafor, Nick Stauskas, 2019 second round pick, was traded to the Brooklyn Nets for Trevor Booker. Now, I had a lot of people call me when this trade went down. They was like, Trevor Booker. And I'm like, no, it's not the same dude. It's 46 last night. It's not him. Okay? It's not the Devin Booker that plays for the Suns that just had the day before this trade went down, he had just gave us 46. But it's not him. It's Trevor Booker. But Trevor Booker fits the city's professional athlete mold. He's a hustler. Like they say, he's a lunch pail guy.
Right.
He's gonna bring his lunch pail. He's gonna do all the dirty work. He's gonna grit and grind. He's gonna grind everything out. He's gonna leave it all on the floor. As you have seen in the first two games, the first game against Cleveland, he had 12 points, 9 rebounds, something like that. Last night against the Pelicans, short-handed, as the Sixers were, he had another almost double-double, if not a double-double. He has the size, and watching him yesterday, you can see that he's a little excited to be on this team because of the potential, because of the direction that this team is going in. So we played our last two games without Joel Embiid. Back spasms. And, you know, this is one of the things that I have issues with, where I go back to the playing back-to-backs and all of that. Gotta play this dude. You know, these are the type of injuries, or these are like nagging injuries that, not saying that they're going to go away, but if he plays, you may not have to sit him out.
Right.
You know, he might get loose by playing.
Right.
He didn't play the night before, so naturally he didn't do any basketball activity, so that back stiffened up. If he had been in practice or doing some other things, it's a possibility that he could have been able to play. Although it might have been limited minutes due to the back spasms, but he might have been able to play because he was actually scheduled to play, hence the reason they left him out against Cleveland to play against Boogie and Anthony Davis. And then it turns out that he could not play.